You know what I haven't done in a while? Gaming news. And I want to start off on something positive, like screenshots from the new Shenmue III game. Odds are, if you are younger than me, which, I don't know, maybe like 10, 20 people that watch me are, or you only know Shenmue from the spicy memes, as the kids say.
Hi, what can I get for you?
Do you know of a place where sailors hang out?
Sailors? I see them at night. We close at 8, but I often see them from just before that.
But you know, the voice actors were tremendously bad for the original Shenmue games, because back then, video gaming isn't what it is now. And Shenmue was before its time. It was like the fucking architect of everything you know in modern open world games now. As many people know who are interested in Shenmue, so 10 of us, a Kickstarter started up. They partnered with Sony. They also partnered with some other company that's based in India to do models. And it's looking like Shenmue is really taking off. Actually, Shenmue looks a lot better than it did when they first showed it off. Oh god, the characters' faces were as lifeless as Keanu Reeves in most movies he's done, except for John Wick. I think he's actually learned a few extra emotions for that film. So the devs have put us some new screenshots for the new Shenmue 3, and honestly, it's looking great. A vast improvement over the character models in the last trailer that they showed off. The areas look lively and sprawling. I can only imagine what will be done with this story. My hopes are extremely high. They were also quoted as, "We are very excited for the continuation of Ryo Hazuki's journey in Shenmue 3, and are confident the game will deliver the story and gameplay PlayStation fans have been waiting for." The global partnership between Ryo Hazuki Net and Deep Silver will help realize Yu Hazuki's vision for Shenmue 3, and we are thrilled to see his spirit of innovation materialize on PlayStation 4. Honestly, as someone who's played the Shenmue games, if you didn't play them back in the day, man, you probably wouldn't appreciate them too much now because people just make jokes about how bad the American voice actors were. I wish I could figure out how to get the Japanese version up and running. I'll look into that. But anyway, back then, man, dude, Shenmue was fucking huge. I can't wait for this to hit. Please, God, let this guy just do what he wants. Please don't let it turn into some sort of homogenized bullshit for the low attention span modern gamer, or I will burn down all the counterfeit purse makers in China. And I know China has nothing to do with Japan, but someone's got to feel the burn. There's no release date yet on this game, but developers at Wyatt's Net, which I believe is Ryo Hazuki, has confirmed that it will release in the second half of this year. Really? Well, that's sooner than I anticipated. Shit, I'll buy that day one, dude. I've been waiting for the next Shenmue for over 10 fucking years, man. Jesus Christ. And I hope they put out a HD remake of the first two Shenmue games, because playing that shit through an emulator, it ain't bad, but my god, the game is kind of clunky versus today's standards. The graphics look horrible in some character models because they didn't have that much money for the game, so only main characters actually had like moving lips and stuff. Everything else is almost like some sort of weird, poorly animated model from GTA 3 looking thing. They didn't even have fingers, dude. Well, We Happy Few has been delayed yet again, and Steam Early Access players are offered refunds, which is cool. Honestly, We Happy Few started off really interesting in my opinion. I was very hyper interested in it. I got a press copy of the game way back, and I was stoked for it. I was like, I can't wait for this to come out. And then as time progressed, We Happy Few was kind of turned into a generic survival game. Eat, sleep, jerk off on stream, call yourself DSP, that sort of thing. It's kind of following the usual tropes, which is a little bit depressing, but what are you going to do, you know? And they also signed a deal with Microsoft, which then brought the game's price up to $60, and then they had a special edition. It's like, how can you have a special edition? You don't even know when the fuck the game's coming out. How can it be this expensive special edition version? What are you guys doing? But whatever, who gives a shit? They ain't signing my checks and I'm not signing theirs, so nobody owes me an explanation. Unhappy news for those eager to play the final version of We Happy Few. The game has been pushed back again. In a new video update, developer Compulsion Games explained they decided to revamp the early hours of We Happy Few, necessitating the game be delayed until sometime this summer. It was supposed to come out in April. Compulsion also used a video to show off the second playable character, namely Sally. You can check that out in the video.
friends.
Lovely day for it.
You lovely day for it, me, you idiot. It's me, Sally. I knew it was you. I mean, it's another you, the glasses, the hair. You're all dashing now. But the way you look around, all intense like that, I just knew that's Arthur. How the hell are you?
Sally?
Let's see. If you watch the video, or maybe you don't want to bother clicking the video, so maybe I'll save some time.
Characters, and throughout all of their stories, there are these moments that are memorable, that are very funny, that are super weird, and we're really excited to show you guys. But we felt like the first 2 hours of Arthur's story just didn't match those moments at all. It really just wasn't what it should be. So we went back to the drawing board. We made a couple of big decisions. We brought forward a large number of story moments, so things that were going to happen later in the game now happen earlier. And we've also rebuilt the whole first island of Arthur. So the first 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours feels like a completely different experience now, and we think it's much better than it was.
So that's the state of things. Sad, really, for anyone who's really stoked about it. Hopefully they get it right, but reading comments from people, it seems that they're not really happy with what's going on. Hunt Showdown will be in alpha testing pretty much this month. Supposedly it'll end at the end of June. Not quite sure how many people are interested in it or have seen it, but it looked pretty cool to me. It's basically like this weird bounty hunter game set in like the Old West. So I guess we could say something like the late 1700s, early 1800s, and you're hunting down supernatural beasts and monsters, but there's also a PvP element in it. So while you're hunting down these monsters, someone could be just sneaking up behind you in a saloon and bust a cap in the back of your ass. You drop dead, or you get wounded, the monster sees you and kills you, then they steal your bounty. There's this whole weird thing going on. PC Gamer actually liked it so much they said the game was, and I quote, incredibly good when they played it at E3 2017, and in fact they selected it as their favorite game of the show. So there's something there. Considering it's from Crytek, and at the time they were working on it, it was called Hunt Horrors of the Gilded Age. But everything went to shits when Crytek went into financial trouble, and they revamped it into this, and it seems to be very well received in the community. People seem very hyped about it. In the shit hit the fan part of the news, Metal Gear Solid Survive has microtransactions and requires a constant online connectivity. Well, yeah, I guess you can't really be shocked. It's fucking Konami, dude. I mean, I don't know why anybody's blown away by this or too upset. I mean, really, Konami doesn't really give a flying fuck. Remember when they released that cool game footage in the new Fox engine of Metal Gear Solid 3, and everybody lost their fucking mind thinking, oh my fucking god, Konami's doing something cool and remaking Metal Gear Solid 3. Even I was like, this could be sick. Like, that could have created so much goodwill in the community. All they had to do was just make the game again in the Fox engine, use the same voice actors, hell, use the same voice lines, don't even bother getting the voice actors back in the mix. All the same shit, bang bang boom. Everybody would have been jerking off and saying Konami is great. No, they used it for a fucking pachinko machine, man. But then again, pachinko's big in Japan, so whatever, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like being obese is big in America. Pardon the pun. So anyway, and I quote, Metal Gear Survive's online connectivity requirements were built to support a seamless integration between single player and co-op. This also enabled us to provide ongoing content post-launch, Konami told GameSpot. Not everybody can have a constant connectivity online thing, you know? I mean, not everyone can, considering how Comcast cable is, AT&T. What happens if your internet service provider's crap? When I was with Time Warner, I used to drop internet all the time. So I'm sure that's leaving a very bad taste in many people's mouths. The microtransactions, according to GameSpot, you'll be able to pay real-world money for in-game currency called SB coins. Kind of makes no sense considering you're in some weird alternate dimension. What fucking value would money hold? But let's just suspend disbelief, if we will. And then you use the currency to buy temporary stat boosts or increase the rate at which you earn battle points, which in previous games have been used to unlock equipment. That's why many people are saying it was a pay-to-win aspect. But frankly, I don't know why you'd really bother to play this online unless you're playing with friends. Now, after this news hit and everybody lost their minds and got really pissed off at Konami because hating Konami is the thing to do. I mean, Konami's shit, but Kojima isn't exactly super awesome, and this is coming from someone who used to love Metal Gear and Kojima. I used to drink the Kool-Aid too. Now I'm free of the Kool-Aid, and I'm just like, This guy makes games. He's a hardcore starfucker for Hollywood, and he screwed over David Hayter as often as he could. He tried so hard to get rid of David Hayter, and he tried to replace him with even Kurt Russell. Like, what the fuck would Kurt Russell want to voice anything in a Metal Gear game? But I digress. Oh, in that new game, whatever the hell they call it, Phantom whatevers, it looks like shit, if you ask me. And I know it's going to piss off a lot of people. But I'll do a tangent on that later. I think I should. I was going to, but I skipped out on it. Anyway, the Metal Gear Survive producers regretted the confusion that was surrounding the survival horror spin-off. And they said that the game will not have any loot boxes or pay-to-win mechanics. They said, and I quote, "Fans and gamers in general seem to take Metal Gear Survive to be a continuation of the Metal Gear series. So I regret that we caused that confusion." I don't know who the fuck thought that. There will be no loot boxes, and there will be no pay-to-win types of microtransactions. There will be things like the accessories in Metal Gear Online, and forward operating base in Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. So you could expect something more along the lines of that, and it mirrors what the guys at Giant Bomb said when they got to play some of the game in one of their little video clips I actually watched about this.
Oxen Nails.
Congratulations. That is.
What if you were to?
Yeah. Hang on. What if you were to maybe buy some better cases with real money?
What if you were to?
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah.
Pay
all right.
A little cash for.
I see.
No, it's actually boosts. They were adamant that there will not be any form of loot box in this game.
Just instead passes that get you better quality things for limited amounts of time.
Instead, it is timed boosts.
Way better.
Tangible
goods.
Like this is the extent of what I saw of this stuff. They said repeatedly like it would be similar to the way they monetized the mother base stuff in Phantom Pain.
Yeah, which that stuff was not great.
Yeah,
but easy enough to ignore. Whereas this seems like it might be a little more.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how the resource stuff is distributed. This is the last story thing I did.
So it's along the lines of the microtransactions people are willing to tolerate, sort of like the shark cards in Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, will it make money? Most likely. But probably not too much considering how many people are pissed off at Konami. And the last bit of gaming news I thought was remotely interesting. The Chinese police arrest 120 PUBG cheat makers with the help of Tencent. Tencent Holdings has set their target on PUBG cheaters in China, preparing the way for the company's localized version of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. PUBG Corp partnered with Tencent after Chinese government came close to banning the game because the game did not line up with the country's socialist core values. Tencent won the right to publish the game in China with plans to release a version with adjusted content to fit the Chinese regulations. And what the fuck are those? I'm quite interested to know. What, do you have to have like a poster of like some Asian leader randomly sprawled out somewhere to remind you you're part of China? What the fuck? Since the deal was announced, Tencent has helped Chinese law enforcement to investigate over 30 cases and arrest over 120 people who are suspected of designing cheat software. Even after the arrest, cheating has remained rampant with PUBG community. Yeah, because the Chinese. The Red Dragon awakens. Holy shit, check this out. A report from Bloomberg has also pointed out that some PUBG players, the top players, have been using games leaderboards to advertise cheat software using player names like contact QQ456798234 to give users a private QQ number for Tencent's QQ messaging service, which can be contacted to buy cheat software. The prices of cheap software varies. One vendor sold a cheat called Juying for 100 yuan, which is worth around 12 pounds. So I'm guessing $14 American. Well, anyway, this company is going out of their way to make sure that they lay the hammer down on cheaters. One, because it's going to benefit them financially. Two, they can't afford to like try and put out their version of the game, and then the game loses its huge player base because people are sick and tired of cheaters. So they are really cracking the whip, and frankly, fine, fuck it. Whatever, throw them in jail. Let them get fucking touched by the booty warrior in the showers. That'll teach them for being dickheads. And on that note, I should probably get the hell out of here because unfortunately, I'm still sick. You know, it's that weird sort of explosive diarrhea, twisting stomach. God damn it, I think someone's poisoned me. It must have been EA and Activision. I'm fucked.